I could not be more ready for one whole month of reading nothing but trash. As many of you already know, in this corner of BookTube, the whole month of August is basically a holiday that we call GarbAugust, a whole month dedicated to reading what one could consider garbage literature. And of course, we mean that in the most loving of ways. The creator of the event, Olly from the channel CriminOlly, always explains this very well. But the point is obviously not to be offensive, but to dedicate this time to read books that never intended to be literary masterpieces, but were created for entertainment, or to be scandalous, or simply to make a lot of sale. The point is that it's really fun, and I hope you want to participate. I will explain what it is all about, and I will show you a bunch of books that I am hoping to read, but I will also list all of the other hosts of this event so you can go to their videos and listen to their explanation and also take some recommendations from them. What I love about GarbAugust is that there is something for everybody. Let's admit it. We all love a little bit of trash. And if you say you don't, I'm pretty sure you're lying. Or maybe you're not, but then that means you need to find the right kind of trash. And that's why we're here for. So the basic structure of the event is that there are 4 themes, one for every week of August, and there is also a bingo board with a bunch of elements that a book can have that would definitely make it trashy. And as I said, these are not hard rules, these are just suggestions in case you don't know where to start. These can give you a starting point. And I'm actually going to try to do the whole of GarbAugust with books I already have in my bookshelves, and believe me, I have plenty of trash to choose from, and I will complement it with Kindle Unlimited because I'm subscribed for a couple of months because I had a promotion, so that should be enough for me. The theme for week 1 is anything goes, so here you have the most freedom. Just dip your toes into something that you consider trashy. Like if you saw someone else reading it, maybe you would judge them just a little bit. And for that, I have 2 options of books that I've wanted to read for a while. The problem is that they're both pretty chunky, so I'm not sure how that's going to work. I might end up picking something from Kindle Unlimited, but I guess you'll have to wait and see. Anyways, the books I have as options are Majestic by Whitley Strieber. Maybe it's Whitley Strieber. Anyways, this guy wrote this book called Communion, which I also haven't read, but it's supposed to be a non-fictional account of his encounters with extraterrestrial entities, I think. And then he wrote this book, which is supposed to be entirely fictional, and it is about a UFO, or like an alien spaceship that crashes to Earth, and then it's about how the government found it and found, I'm guessing, extraterrestrial creatures, but they kept it a secret. And I think this is perfect for GarbAugust. First of all, because the author is kind of a controversial figure. I think he really believes in humans having contact with extraterrestrials, and he talks about that a lot and kind of like blurs the line in his books of what's supposed to be real and what's supposed to not be real. And obviously the whole thing with the government cover-up, I think it definitely plays with specific fears people had in the late 80s, early 90s. I think the alien thing was a big deal back then. Anyways, I'm very curious about this as well, because even though I don't personally believe we are close or have already made contact with extraterrestrials, it's something that really, really scares me, and I hope when or if it happens, I'm not around to see it. Then a classic trashy horror author that I've somehow never read, Richard Laymon. I just can't bring myself to read him on a normal day because I kind of know what I'm expecting. The over-sexualization, the unnecessary sexual violence, the way he describes women, like I know it's gonna annoy me. And based on the description, I think this might be one of his trashiest books ever. And that's why I think I would love to read it this year. It's really long though, so I don't know. Please help me decide. This one is about a guy called Stanley, and he is a massive creep. He is spying on a young woman. I think he's obsessed with her and stalks her. And then there is a huge earthquake that destroys the city, like the power is down. It's huge chaos. And this poor young woman gets trapped in her house. And basically, Stanley decides that it's the perfect moment to go meet her in person, if you know what I mean. Anyway, it sounds horrific, and I think it could be potentially very fun. The theme for week 2 is category romance or men's adventure. I don't think I had any men's adventure in my bookshelves, but I do have a category romance, and it's actually a book that I was sent by my friend Roy from Roy Reads Anything, which is also a co-host for GarbAugust, and that book is Vampire Lover, and this is my very first Meals and Boon book that I own. So that's very exciting. And also, this is really special because it's written by Charlotte Lamb, and apparently this is her 100th romance. So I don't know, that's just cool. I have no idea what this is about, but I'm pretty sure someone's a vampire. I don't know if it's the man or the woman, but at least one of them will be a vampire, and I'm assuming they will fall in love. And I actually have another vampire romance, and this is a point horror book. It is Vampire's Love. This is the first part, Blood Curse, and I guess it will be kind of similar. I think I have the second book of this as well, so if I read these fast, I could get started on the next part. The theme for week 3 is sex and or violence, and my bookshelves definitely had a lot more violence than sex. That sounds kind of weird. But I did find one, and I got this from Nettie, who used to be on BookTube, but I don't think she is anymore. Anyways, I feel kind of bad because we're supposed to do a book chain with this, so I was supposed to read it and then send it to someone else. But then I had some personal issues and I couldn't do it. So if anyone wants this, I can send it to you after I read it, and we can keep that going in honor of Nettie, wherever she may be. That is The Secret World of Sex Witches, an erotic novella by Musidora. I have no idea what this is about, and actually the back of the book doesn't even say. It just says it brings forth all the naughtiness, wanton sensuality and surreal humor of an unforgettable vision of eccentric British sexuality in a deliciously titillating text. So, kind of mysterious, and I am intrigued. For the violence side of things, I would love to read the movie Bloodbath by Isaac Nightingale. The back of the book is also quite sparse on the details, but it says it includes vampires, flesh-melting skin stealers, neo-Nazi prison gangs, an old-ass fortune teller, a Texan gunslinger, a wheelchair-bound werewolf, 2 haunted revolvers, and one hell of a road trip for revenge. So this could be awesome in a terrible kind of way. It is also quite long, so if I'm feeling tight on time, my other option is Psychic Teenage Bloodbath by Carl John Lee. This is slightly smaller, and I'm pretty sure this is about a teenage girl who has some kind of psychokinetic powers. Not quite sure, but I think it is pretty violent. Yeah, I mean, it says it's brutal and stomach churning violence, so that would fit the bill. And finally, the theme for week 4 is novelizations, and I do have quite a few of those on my bookshelves, but the one I really want to read is The Omen. And that's because obviously The Omen is in fashion again with the release of the movie The First Omen, which, by the way, I absolutely love. I'm kind of obsessed, to be honest. I thought it was so scary and it fit in the original franchise so well, I thought. So I would definitely love to read The Omen, and because it's quite short and I actually have the whole series, I thought it would be fun to just try and read as much of these as possible. I don't think I will follow the bingo board that much because I don't have that many books that would tick the boxes, but here it is, so that you can start coming up with some ideas. However, I do want to try my hardest to complete the box in the middle, which is a box reserved to honor and remember BookTube friends that have passed away, but have been in the past a huge part of GarbAugust. So the first one, in honor of Pax from Pax Panic, is to read a book with a green cover, and for that I would love to read Cretaceous Canyon by Deborah Sheldon. And this is basically about a group of people that discover dinosaurs in a canyon in Australia. So that just simply sounds like a lot of fun. And the other person we are remembering with this is Alice from Alice and the Giant Bookshelf, and the prompt is to read a mystery with a cat on the cover. And I've actually wanted to read one of these for a really long time. I had some of them already saved in my Kindle Unlimited wishlist. So the one that I would like to get to is A Charming Crime by Tonya Capps. And this is about a woman that has kind of like a homeopathy pharmacy, something like that, and someone gets murdered in her small town. So it's a small town mystery, and it says there's a little bit of magic and a little bit of romance. So that sounds pretty delightful. And I guess it would just give my GarbAugust a little bit of that non-violent, bloody fun. Another incredible addition to this year of GarbAugust will be the Garbology, which is an anthology in which a lot of the BookTube community has participated by submitting either short stories or art. So there are booktubers, viewers, a lot of people got involved, and I'm super excited to read all the stories that everyone has come up with. Finally, because this is the third year of GarbAugust, it has now evolved into GarbAugust 3D, which means that a third dimension has been uncovered. So now there are more ways to participate. One is with Instagram prompts. So if you're more of a posting photos kind of person, you can do this and it's really quick and easy. And the other one is decades. So many of the co-hosts will actually be focusing on trash from a certain decade, and many of these people are really knowledgeable about this type of books. So I'm really looking forward to learning more about some time period specific trash. The way I would like to participate in the decades is simply by reading a trash book that I feel very nostalgic about, a book or a book series rather that I was obsessed with when I was around 14 or 15 years old, although it's a little bit embarrassing to say, but I loved it and maybe I will still love it, and that is the Gossip Girl series. So I would love to read at least the first one. If I remember correctly, the books were so much more scandalous than the TV show, or maybe I just felt that way because I was really young and it's not actually that scandalous at all. We'll see, we'll find out. And I almost forgot about this, but this is really important. You can also fulfill the prompts by watching movies, and actually each of the co-hosts is giving a book and movie recommendation. So if you're short on ideas, you can get some from there. My book recommendation is The Meg by Steve Alten. Obviously, this is a creature feature. I guess it's also a little bit men's adventure because it's very like macho men in here. And actually, I describe this book as high quality trash because yes, it is very trashy, but I think the science fiction-y elements in it were actually done really well. So I do recommend it. And because I've already read this a couple of years ago, I would love to keep going with the series. And now, this year, read Meg to the Trench. I'm a bit concerned because I don't think I remember all the details in this one. I'm not sure if that will be necessary, but maybe what I could do is get the audiobook for this one and then just kind of like listen to it kind of fast and then just like refresh my memory and get into this one. And my recommendation for movie is another creature feature just because I just love those kind of things. But this one is a creature feature with extra sprinkles, and the movie I recommend is Some Beavers. Yes, it's about beavers that are also zombies. So, I mean, I don't really know what to say. It can't really get much better than that, can it? I think I covered all the information, but as I said, please watch other hosts' videos because most of them are much more organized than I am. But I am truly so excited. I feel like this is my Christmas, literally. I find so much joy in reading all these books, and I really hope you do too. I'm gonna try to vlog as much as possible. We'll see how that goes, but I would just love to have you on the journey with me. August is a pretty busy month for me because it's the Edinburgh Fringe Festival, so I usually go to quite a lot of shows. I booked a lot of creepy shows this year, kind of like horror adjacent things. So I don't know if people care because it's just like very specific to this city, but do let me know if you would like to hear more about that. I'm going way off topic, so I'm just gonna wrap this up. What are you gonna read for GarbAugust, or what is your favorite trashy book or movie? Leave me a recommendation in the comments below, and I'll see you on my next video. Bye!